Good morning from my side. We are really thankful to be here and to have this cooperation also with Neutech Park in this project, because as a very young company, it's not so easy at the real beginning, where we need to focus on flying our aircrafts, on having a good network, on selling tickets, to work also on such projects. And this is really a great thing that we managed in so short time to put it live already. A small introduction maybe to the company. So basically we are a kind of airline leisure startup, and all started in 2019 when the Friel Group, which is not a startup, is a very successful company holding with more than 100 companies in renewable energy mainly, decided to buy the airport of Bolzano together with Rene Benko and Hans-Peter Hasselsteiner. But we have also 51% of the shares, so we can decide what's happening there as well. And then in 2020 it was decided to found an airline with hub in Bolzano, which is SkyAlps, and the first flights were almost 2 years ago. So it was the 15th of June 2021 to Ibiza. I was on that airplane. I haven't been in SkyAlps that time. We had a lot of problems. It took us 6 hours to go to Ibiza. And we started, SkyAlps started operations with just 2 aircrafts basically. And now we can say that in the beginning of June we're going to have 5 aircrafts and something in addition since the beginning of 2023, which is crucial for an airline to be successful. It's the Air Operator Certificate, the AOC. And basically we started as a tour operator, as a virtual airline together with a Maltese airline, Luxwing, in order to be really fast on the market. But that means also that outsourcing such important things like all the operation planning, fuel planning, slots and such things makes it much more complicated. And now all the planning, all the operations are done in Bolzano. So our team is growing a lot lately, and we want to grow also our fleet. So the idea of the property is to have another 5 to 10 aircrafts within a year. But what is also very special about having the own AOC, in Italy we have 4 companies having an AOC. It's ITA, it's Air Dolomiti, it's Aero Italia and SkyAlps, is that we can finally make cooperations with other airlines. And this is for quite a regional hub, of course a very interesting thing. So the 2 cooperations we normally airlines have is codeshare or interline. That means you're buying 2 tickets to go from A to B, but your luggage stays basically all the time, goes through, so you don't have to do the checkout, which is interline. And codeshare is then really a deep cooperation between airlines where you go with one code the whole way from Tokyo to Bolzano, for example, together with an airline partner. And this is now something we are working on. Of course, it's not easy as a small regional player to talk to the big dogs, but we are at a good point. And we simplified also the ticket process, having our own ASC. In the speech before, we heard a lot about reducing fuel costs and sustainability. Now, some of you may say, aviation and sustainability, very difficult. How is it possible to talk through that? We strongly believe that with this kind of aircraft, with this Dash 8 Q400, it's a turboprop, we have the most efficient aircraft for regional flights or for flights within 1.5 to 2 hours flight time. And I think this is a very interesting fact. Basically 50% of all flights worldwide are less than 500 nautical miles, which is 880 kilometers, something like that. So it's more or less our flight to Hamburg, more or less, which is 1 hour 40. And we know that 2.83% of all CO2 emissions of aviation, 3% of all CO2 emissions worldwide come from aviation, and 50% of all those flights are less than 500 nautical miles, which is the perfect range for the Dash 8 Q100. Now, all airlines bought a lot of jets, which are a little bit faster, 10% faster for this distance, maybe a little bit more comfortable for passengers inside than a turboprop. But they have a lot more emission. And so we strongly believe that as a bridge technology, until we go to other types of engines, which are now, there is also a hydrogen version of this aircraft, which will be on the market in 2026. They did the first flight for 29 minutes, I think, 1 month ago, with one engine hydrogen. So I think this is now very important, and that's why we also focus a lot on this kind of aircraft. And that means in the end not only CO2 emission, but also the impact on global warming, because what is also very interesting with this kind of aircraft is that we fly maximum 25,000 feet. So we know that 2/3 of all impact on global warming is probably generated, as studies say, by contrails. So this is NOx and other particles emission on high altitude. They form contrails, and this is really, really bad. And due to the fact that we are not flying so high, we are not in the, mainly for 99% of all contrails are formed over 9 kilometers. So basically we know that this aircraft is not forming or having these effects. Okay, I think that's something you can see also on our website. What we want to show is that, of course, our focus is not just bringing people from South Tyrol to Olbia, to Sicily, to Ibiza, or to Croatia, but it's also 50% of our flights also in summer are inbound, coming from Germany, Hamburg, Düsseldorf, Berlin, Kassel. But what we do as well, because you need to be efficient, you need to use the aircraft as much as possible, of course, so we do a lot of full charter, part charter agreements, but we do also ACME. ACME is basically a kind of lease where you say aircraft, crew, maintenance, insurance, and we lease our aircraft because it's so efficient to other airlines. So we do the Bergamo-Rome 3 times a day or 2 times a day now for Aero Italia. We have our crew there, and they use our aircraft because it consumes a lot less fuel than others. Okay, but now let's go to the topic of this meeting. It was a long introduction. I have only 6 minutes, 50 seconds left. What is our main challenge? We have a challenge B2C towards our passengers, and that is it to guarantee a seamless mobility chain coming from Hamburg to Ritten, that we tell you with SkyAlps you can save a lot of time, but in fact if you have to wait 20 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour for a shuttle or the taxi to come, then it's not time saving. And on the other hand, B2C, we need to raise awareness for our offer because we are, of course, a new, very small player on the market, and therefore it's very tricky. B2B, towards our stakeholders, we got approached from the real beginning. They asked us for flight schedules, for more information, how can they use our data, our flight content in their booking engines and stuff like this. And so our goal was with this cooperation to provide the best possible user experience to our passengers, but at the same time boost also the cooperation with our stakeholders, because we don't have the marketing budget to tell everyone in whole Europe that we are flying. That's why we need to involve all those strong partners at the market already, and now we see how. One was in terms of mobility, what was important to have accessible real-time data for all mobility partners. So it's the taxi driver in front of Bolzano Airport, it's all those shuttle services, picking up guests at our airport or bringing them back for the flight back, but also all the hotels want to know exactly when groups or guests are coming. And here we can see how, together with Neutech Park, it was possible to build a web component which is super easy to configure, where you can see different destinations, different routes, different dates, different fares. We can use it for the display in the terminal at the airport, where we say, okay, when our flights departing and when our flights arriving, but we can use it as well. We have a cooperation with Tirolo, Dorf Tirol. They offer to every guest coming to South Tyrol the free shuttle service, but the guests need to book on the website of Dorf Tirol this service. And so basically, through this web component, it's possible for Dorf Tirol to have real-time flight data, every schedule change, you know, strikes, weather, technical problems can cause in aviation delays or also cancellations. And it's very hard for us to inform all people. We try to inform our passengers, but it's very hard to inform all stakeholders in that case. And the next idea would be to say, okay, let's try to get not just the schedule, the fares, the availability of flights, where you can see it also, but let's try also to have real-time data on small delays, on gates and stuff like this, and this would be then the next step for this project. The second case, we see also people in the audience who worked on this as well, is to integrate customized flight offers for correspondence software solutions, such as with Travel Suite or Correspondence Manager. And because we know that millions of mails are sent to potential customers, and these customers, they don't know that there is a possibility to fly to South Tyrol. They don't know when we're flying. They don't know if there is an available flight. They don't know what are the fares, how much does it cost to come to the Dolomites in a pretty quick way. And that's why we believe that this is, for the user, this is a big step in having everything in one mail, basically. So you can see what we offer, and on the other hand, it's also a win-win for the hotels, for all accommodations, in order that they can show that South Tyrol is not 12 hours driving by car. And as we saw before, just to go back to this sustainability topic, we know that we have between 2 and 2.3 liters per 100 kilometers per passenger. So if you drive from Hamburg to Bolzano in a car with 2 people, probably this is not a much cleaner situation. The train, of course, as well as bus, is much better. I mean, that's no point. But I think we need to show what is our offer and what we can do. Yeah, I think now it's 1 minute 20 left. I managed to stay in time. I think that's just the beginning, because what we see also for other airlines is that not just the last mile, but the whole mobility process is, for the future, needs to be perfectly integrated. We see it with Google Maps, and I think we are planning to do the same in South Tyrol, and therefore it's, for us, crucial, because we don't even know who is using our data. So this is really the next step, where we say, for us it's super important that data is easy, accessible, it's free, it's trustable, and it's real time, because for us real time is the most critical thing. You know, probably you're flying as well, and then you are super angry that you're not on, the flight is not on time. But on the other hand, for the airline, it's a great operational challenge to make everything happen, but also to inform passengers and to inform all people involved. And this is a perfect tool to do so. Thank you.